just say food has never been a source of comfort for me. It's always been a sense of overwhelm. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana, and today we're going to be talking about ARFID. It stands for Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. Now, ARFID is a lesser known eating disorder that is not based on body image at all. Rather, it's more focused on a fear of trying new foods. And let's just say it does not make eating a pleasant experience. Now, about 3 years ago, I decided that I had had enough of this, that I desperately needed help, so I did seek treatment. I talk more about that experience in these videos up here. So in this video, I want to give a long overdue update of what that recovery journey has looked like for me. It's been 3 years, so there's been a lot of new foods I've incorporated into my diet, and I just kind of want to talk about the process just to give you a realistic point of view of what that recovery process can actually look like. So let's start with how my relationship with food has changed. My relationship with food has improved a lot, but there's still things that I do struggle with. The treatment was extremely helpful in taking the fear of trying new food away. For me, it was mostly based on textures and also just having a fear of throwing up, of eating something undercooked, that kind of thing. So what Felix really helped me do in that hypnotherapy session was just remove that idea that I'm scared of trying the new food. So now when I look at food and I go to try it, it's not an overwhelming body reaction where I start to panic and like I physically cannot try the food. Like I just psych myself out. It used to be such a big deal. Like I would convince myself that I could eat the item, and then when it came down to it to actually try it, it just became a huge deal and I would start to panic and I just physically could not try it. Now all of that is gone, which is incredible. So now it's more like, okay, I know I can eat it. I'm not scared of trying it anymore. It's now just uncomfortable because now I have to make the conscious choice of, yes, I am gonna try it. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be different, but let's give it a shot. I think a good way to compare it is that it used to be like going to the doctors and needing to get a shot. So as you can imagine, that would instill a lot of fear in me and it was not a process that I look forward to. Now, trying new foods is more like, I don't know, maybe something like taking your vitamins where you have to remember, you have to make the conscious choice to have them. They're not always tasty, but you know it's good for you and you will take it. So that's kind of what my relationship with food is like now. That's a huge improvement. With that said, adding new things to your diet is really gonna be entirely up to you. Now that you've unblocked that fear, now that you can make the conscious choice of trying new food, it's up to you as to how much effort you want to put into actually expanding your diet. And I think this is where I've struggled with most, because in the beginning, I wanted to take it slow just because this is completely new to me. It's like a shock to my system, so I like to warm up to things slowly. So I would slowly try new things and I didn't want to overwhelm myself. So what I mean by that is, let's say I was trying something new, like lobster bisque, that's something new. I would go to the restaurant, my parents would order it. I wouldn't order it for myself because again, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about it. So my parents would order it and then they would give me a little bit to try. I'd taste it. You know, it didn't taste that bad. Okay, let me take another spoonful. I'd taste it again. Actually, this is kind of good. Let me try one more time. Okay, 3 teaspoons and now I'm done. Because even though I like the flavor of it, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So then I would stop and I'd say, okay, that's enough. I know that lobster bisque is something that tastes generally good, but I don't want to overwhelm my system, so that's enough for today. Maybe another day I can try more. That's just what has worked for me. For other people, maybe they're able to sit there and eat a whole bowl of lobster bisque. I envy you, but that's what I'm working up towards, and this is kind of like the treatment that worked for me. Another thing with me taking it slow is that I couldn't just try 1,000 different things all in one day. If I already tried something brand new to me for lunch, odds are I was going to be less likely to try something new for dinner. It just became overwhelming. And I think too, part of it was trying to combat people's expectations or excitement for me. I think people wanted to see a recovery process that was super quick, that suddenly I can eat everything. And that was very, I don't know, that felt very daunting. And so I kind of wanted to set realistic expectations and put the control back into my own hands. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but that's how I've been doing it and it's been helping me. With that said, one thing I do wish I was doing better was once I tried something, I wish I would try it more often so that I really could incorporate it into my diet. So I guess what I will say is that in this whole journey, what I've done really well is trying new foods. I've tried a lot of new foods. However, what have I actually incorporated into my diet? that's where it becomes a little tricky because I've tried things once or twice here and there, but I haven't tried it repeatedly enough to where I can say I want a whole plate of this and I can genuinely say that I enjoy this. But one of the huge benefits of having like this fear lifted off of me is that now public settings aren't as scary as they used to be. Now I feel that I can go out and meet up with friends or go out to dinner, and let's say there might not be something that I like there. It's no longer like a worry of what am I gonna do, like this sucks, I'm not gonna be able to eat, I'm gonna have no energy. Now I'm able to go more with the idea of like, okay, today may be a day that I have to stretch myself. There's no fear of trying new food, but I may have to be uncomfortable for a little bit to try a new dish or a new ingredient, and that's okay. Like, before it used to be if I was starving in the desert and there was nothing to eat, I still would not eat whatever that fear-based food was in front of me. Now, if I am starving and in the desert, I probably would eat that fear-based food. So that's the biggest difference. I think this recovery journey, what I'm getting to is that a lot of it is about feeling uncomfortable and like how well are you at dealing with that uncomfortableness. And you know, Felix even said this in the treatment. We've unblocked this fear. Now it's really up to you with how much effort you want to put into your recovery. How much do you actually want to be adventurous and try new foods? When you go through this process, you have to give yourself so much grace because it really does feel like you're learning to eat again. It feels like you were a toddler trying food for the first time, and it's so embarrassing given like how far I am in life, but it's a necessary part of the ordeal. And if as long as you surround yourself by people who are supportive of you and understand what you're going through, you'll be fine. But just know having that supportive system is so helpful. One thing that really helped me was my mom was so encouraging throughout the whole entire process. When I did have little wins, like she would celebrate them with me, or even if I tried something, even if it was just like one little taste and then I didn't like it, like she would celebrate it like, I'm so proud of you that you tried it, like that's progress, now you know what it tastes like, maybe in the future you can try it again or maybe not, but at least you know what it tastes like now. And I think that just made me feel so good, and just the reassurance of like you are making progress, especially because you are going to have days where you're like, wow, this sucks, like I still hate food. But when you have someone in your corner who has reminded you of all the progress that you've made, it kind of does encourage you to keep going. That's been a huge part of my recovery process too. So shout out mom. I think I've created like somewhat of a pyramid in my brain of what I think is going to be the hardest thing to try, and sometimes I just make it easy for myself and I go for the low-hanging fruit. But for instance, in my head I built it up that like seafood is going to be really tricky for me because of its slimy texture. However, I have been pretty good about it, and I've tried things like I told you, lobster bisque, I've tried crab cakes, I've tried octopus. Okay, you know what? Let's just get into the new foods that I've tried. So I think you saw this in my treatment video. Immediately after the treatment, one of the new foods that I did try was cucumber. I'm not really big on vegetables. I eat a lot of fruit, not a lot of vegetables. So cucumber was one that I tried and completely surprised me. I thought it would have, as I like to call it, a vegetable flavor, but instead it felt more bright and like a melon. It's not that I enjoyed it, but I was okay with it. Avocados. I'm trying so hard to like. I can eat avocados if you spread it thinly. However, if you put it in big globs, I am still not a fan. Same thing with hummus. I think you saw me try hummus in that video. I have not tried hummus again. Okay, so I did mention that I tried octopus, and I've tried octopus several times. Now this surprised me so much because like, what the heck? I still can't believe that I've tried it multiple times. I've tried it in different restaurants. Usually what I do is when someone says like, this is a good restaurant to try this dish or to try this ingredient, I take their word for it and I will try it. So that's what I did with the octopus. Let's just say it's not my favorite. I don't think I ate the entire like octopus, but I'd eat like the leg, the tentacle, like little pieces that were smaller and maybe more crunchy instead of chewy. I know I have issues with chewy things. I don't think I liked it. I think I just wanted to try it to say that I tried it. Bell peppers I had tried before the treatment and I was slowly getting used to them. I still like bell peppers. They do need to be cooked though. I don't want to say that. I haven't tried raw bell peppers. Maybe that's something I leave for another day. Ooh, a new one, heirloom tomatoes. So I went to this really yummy restaurant and they have this dish that's heirloom tomatoes with cheese and balsamic vinegar. It is so delicious. Now, you may not know this, but I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes. If you cut them up like really small and throw them into like a dish to make a sauce, that's fine. But eating them raw or eating them in big chunks, not my favorite thing in the world. But these heirloom tomatoes are a little bit sweet and they're just the perfect size, so I can cut them up like small, mix it with the cheese, which I love. It was so good. They just prepared it so well. This was something that I went to back to the restaurant like 2 or 3 times, and I would order it every time. I would not eat all the tomatoes every single time, but every single time I went, I would force myself to eat more tomatoes. So that's kind of how I warmed myself up to it. A big one that surprised me was sushi. Now I will say I did not eat raw fish. When I went to Hawaii, I decided that I would give it a go. I want to say, is it a California roll? It was basically like avocado and some veggies, and because I've never eaten sushi before, I don't know the proper way to eat it, so I did not dip it in the soy sauce that you're supposed to dip it in. I just kind of ate it raw and I hated it. It was not my favorite. I tried so hard to eat it, so I tried to let the conversation distract me from it, but yeah, I should have tried it with the sauce. What I did try was tuna tartare. I think it was raw tuna, and I did try that with some friends and surprisingly did like it. I was so scared. I need to stop saying scared. I was very hesitant to try it just because anything raw just makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but they promised me that they felt the same way about raw fish, about raw things, but this was like the one place that they really enjoyed it from. So I took their word for it and it was good. I did enjoy it, but like I said, little bites at a time, please. Spinach is a big one, so I'm now much more comfortable with spinach. When it comes to like lettuce, kale, arugula, all of that stuff, I'm not a big fan of. I don't generally eat salads, especially lettuce. I've tried lettuce so many times. I'm not a fan. However, I was surprised to see that I can tolerate spinach, whether that's cooked, whether that's in a salad. Like I had a spinach, feta cheese, strawberries, and like some nuts. Like that kind of salad is really yummy, and I do enjoy that. We already talked about the lobster bisque. Gnocchi is another one. The potato-based, what I call pasta, is so good. My friends gave me a recipe to try. It's like sun-dried tomato basil gnocchi. It is so delicious. I was also a little bit hesitant when they were making it the first day, but I didn't want to be rude because like I was staying at their place, they were cooking for me, you know, like I don't want to be an inconvenience for other people. But wow, I was so pleasantly surprised that I had to ask them for the recipe afterwards, and I made it now a few times. It's nice that gnocchi has actually now become one of my safe foods. Caramelized onions, that's kind of an easy one. So let's talk more about like some veggies. Sweet potatoes, I know that's a starch, but that is something new that I tried around Thanksgiving time. I still don't know how I feel about that. I did try Brussels sprouts and I hate them. Even just the smell of them to me is disgusting, but I've given them a few shots now and just nope, I don't think Brussels sprouts are gonna do it for me. No, beets, I've tried beets in smoothies. That's another thing. I still sometimes am a little hesitant to just have like the raw vegetables or just to cook them into some kind of sauce. I don't know how to do that, so if I ever find myself feeling a little bit low on energy or low on nutrients, I will go and seek out a smoothie, and usually they'll put like carrots or beets in the smoothie, and that's how I get that kind of nutrients. I've tried a lot of new sauces. Trying new sauce is probably like a really easy way to get started with trying new foods, just because there's a bunch of things mixed into it, but generally speaking, the texture is very smooth, so it's very easy to get like acclimated to new flavors and then slowly develop into the actual ingredient. Some fun ones are lychee and mochi. Those aren't things that I ever feared. I just think they were things I didn't know about or had access to, and I think I would have tried these without going through treatment, to be honest. I generally love cheese, with a few exceptions, blue cheese being one of them and goat cheese being the other. I tried a sandwich which came all wrong, but I wasn't worried about the goat cheese because I'm like, in general, I like cheese, how bad can this be? I tried it. It was not my thing at all. Since then, I've tried goat cheese multiple times. It is just too strong. I can't tolerate it. Patatas bravas are also a new thing. So just like in general, even just eating potatoes, I would eat French fries before and like cooked potatoes, but not like breakfast potatoes or like a side of a baked potato. I wouldn't eat those before. Now I do. It sucks that like a lot of what I like are carbs and like starch, but that's just the name of the game, I guess. And then two more things are one, like olive juice. I still haven't gotten myself to try olives, but at least like the olive juice, I can put it into things that I cook or certain sauces. While there's so many other foods that I've tried that I just can't remember off the top of my head, this is just the base of it. And as you can see, like It's a lot of new foods and I am very proud of myself for that. I still have a long way to go. I need to try like bigger dishes. One thing I do love that makes me feel so good is when I go to a restaurant and I'm able to order a dish without taking anything off of it. Those are the moments where I feel like so accomplished, like, okay, look, we're getting better. That's really when I start to see progress. Now, while I wish I had made even more progress, I do think one thing that's going to expedite that, being forced to cook for myself and finding recipes that I am comfortable with. So on days that I do feel like I'm able to experiment, I do think I'm going to be able to try a lot more food at my own pace, and because I'm in control and I'm making those decisions, I think it's going to be a lot easier. I'm just so glad that the fear of trying new foods is over, and now I just need to work on actually trying those new dishes so that food actually becomes enjoyable and not so much of a chore. I do have days where I'm really hard on myself, where I'm just like, damn, like I wish I could eat food like a normal person. But we are on our way. Change is always difficult no matter what it is you're going through, but it's still better than where we started, and that's what matters. So if you are looking to seek treatment, I highly recommend watching my previous video and talking to Felix. He also does sessions over Zoom and online. You don't have to go in person. And honestly, he was so helpful. As long as you're open to the dialogue and the communication that goes on during that session, I do think it'll work. You just have to tell yourself it'll work. And it does. And for that, I'm forever thankful. So if you are undergoing your own recovery journey, or if you just realized that you have ARFID and have been suffering from it your whole life, then I just want to say that you've got this, there's hope for you, and I just wish you the best of luck on your recovery journey. All right, well, with that said, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.